Now we are in line 11. Fierce witnesses rise up. They ask me things that I do not know. 12. They reward me evil for good, to the sorrow of my soul. But as for me, when they were sick, my clothing was sackcloth. I humbled myself with fasting, and my prayer would return to my own heart. I paced about as though he were my friend or brother. I bowed down heavily as one who mourns for his mother. All right, so it gives us some reference scriptures here, and then basically what David is saying is that those who were trying to do him dirty, he had they were going through some things, and David was praying for them. He would walk back and forth, pacing, couldn't sleep, because why? He cared about them so much, as if they were a friend or a brother, and he sent prayers and stuff up on their behalf to the Lord to try to help them get out of this dilemma. And so how many times has that happened to us, when people we have helped, prayed for, bore those burdens with them, and then they turn around and treat us like trash. They treat us like we never did anything for them, and they treat us like they're an enemy to us. All right, and so David is saying that fierce witnesses, apparently they were slandering him, saying things about him, because this is actually a prophetic scripture on the 11a, not the B part, where it says fierce witnesses rise up. All right, they ask me things that I do not know. Well, that part is not prophetic when it comes down to Jesus, because Jesus knows everything, and he knew what people were thinking before they even asked him. All right, so let's go to Mark 14:57, 58. Mark 14:57, 58. That says, let me go up to 56. So it says, for many bore false witnesses against him, but their testimonies did not agree. 57. And some rose up and bore false witness against him, saying, we heard him say, I will destroy this temple that is made with hands, and within 3 days I will build another made without hands. And so this was a blatant lie against Jesus, a false testimony, because Jesus did not even say that. John 2:19 tells us exactly what Jesus said. Jesus said in 2:19, he said that Jesus answered and said to them, destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up. All right, so now then the Jews said, it has taken 46 years to build this temple, and you will raise it up in 3 days. But he was speaking of the temple of his body. That's what Jesus was talking about. And it says, therefore, when he had risen from the dead, his disciples remembered that he had said this to them, and they believed the scripture and the word which Jesus had said. All right, and so it gives this, John 2:19 gives us a reference scripture to Acts 10:40. Acts 10:40. Now bear with me, we got reference scripture, cross-reference scriptures crossing each other. So, okay, Acts 10:40, that says, him God raised up on the 3rd day and showed him openly. All right, so God raised him up the 3rd day. And then so it gives us, I'm going to just mark this right here. And then so let's go back to John 2:19, because it had some reference scriptures let's see. 2:19, Matthew 26:61. Matthew 26:61. That says, and Mary Magdalene was there, and the other Mary sitting opposite the tomb. All right. 26:61. Oh no, that was 27:61. Dot dot dot. 26:61. That says, and said, this fellow said, I am able to destroy the temple of God and to build it in 3 days. So that just basically other people saying what Jesus had said. So basically they took Jesus' word out of context. All right. And let's go back to Mark. And so Mark gives us, let me see, make sure. Okay, so 58, 59. All right, so I think we covered all of that. All right, so let's go back to Psalm 35. Psalm 35. All right, so we're going to go back to Psalm 35, and we're already over already. All right, and so we were going to pick it up. Let's just do this. Pick it up in the next segment.